781,343. I want you to sit with that number for a second. That is the estimated number of human beings, most of them children, who are dead today because Donald Trump and Elon Musk decided to cut foreign aid in the name of government efficiency. 781,000 people, and almost nobody is talking about it. Welcome back. If you're new here, hit subscribe, because today we are covering the story that the mainstream media keeps burying under tariff charts and cabinet drama. Today we talk about what DOGE actually did. Let's start from the beginning, because a lot of people still don't fully understand what DOGE was or how it worked. On January 20th, 2025, his very first day back in office, Donald Trump signed an executive order creating the Department of Government Efficiency. It wasn't a real government department. It had no Senate confirmation. It had no formal oversight structure. It was essentially Elon Musk and a group of 20-something tech bros with security clearances, encrypted signal chats set to auto-delete, and access to the financial systems of the entire United States government. So what was their stated mission? Cut $2 trillion in government waste. DOGE members filled influential roles within several federal agencies, obtained administrative access to information systems used in procurement and personnel management, terminated government contracts, and facilitated mass layoffs across the federal workforce. They canceled thousands of contracts. They fired hundreds of thousands of workers. And they did all of it at a speed that made oversight virtually impossible. Now, here's the thing about moving that fast when you're cutting humanitarian programs. People don't get second chances. There's no undo button when you've just defunded the only HIV clinic in a village in Mozambique. In late January 2025, a woman named Dr. Brooke Nichols sat down at her desk at Boston University. She's an infectious disease mathematical modeler. That means her entire career is built around one question. If you change this variable in a health system, how many people live or die? She launched a real-time digital tracking website called Impact Counter, a platform that uses peer-reviewed modeling to calculate increases in mortality, disease spread, and healthcare costs across HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, pneumonia, diarrhea, neglected tropical diseases, and malnutrition, all as a direct result of the USAID funding freeze. She didn't do this as a political statement. She did it as a scientist, watching a preventable catastrophe unfold in real time. And what her counter found should have been front-page news every single day. By May 2025, the DOGE cuts to foreign aid programs had led to an estimated 300,000 deaths, mostly children. By February 2026, when her counter was retired, the total estimated deaths caused by the funding cuts had reached 781,343. 781,000 people in roughly 1 year. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, well, maybe there was waste in foreign aid. Maybe some of that money wasn't being used properly. And you know what? Fair point. Let's look at that. USAID, the agency DOGE essentially dismantled overnight, was the largest humanitarian and development aid agency in the world. And researchers have spent decades studying what it actually did. A study by researchers from the United States, Spain, Brazil, and Mozambique estimated that 91 million deaths were prevented between 2001 and 2021 in low and middle-income countries due to USAID-funded programs, with mortality from HIV/AIDS reduced by 74%, malaria by 53%, and tuberculosis significantly lower in countries receiving USAID support. 91 million lives saved over 20 years. That is what DOGE walked in and shut down in a weekend. Foreign aid makes up too little of the federal budget for cuts to make any meaningful difference in national debt. And the claims of fraud, waste, and abuse were never substantiated. So what were they actually cutting? They were cutting anti-malaria bed nets, HIV medication delivery systems, clean water programs, TB clinics, and nutrition support for children under 5. They called it waste. The children dying from preventable diseases have a different word for it. And here's the part of this story that keeps me up at night, because what we've already seen is just the beginning. Researchers project that the sharp reductions in USAID funding, amounting to an 83% cut, could lead to more than 14 million additional deaths by 2030, including more than 4.5 million children under the age of 5. 14 million people by 2030. That's 4 years from now. Oxfam America warns that the cuts could cause 23 million children to lose access to education and up to 95 million people to lose access to basic health care, potentially leading to over 3 million preventable deaths per year. And Congress, rather than stopping this, voted to make it permanent. The House voted to approve Trump's request to claw back $8.3 billion in previously enacted funding for foreign assistance, seeking to make permanent the cuts already imposed by DOGE. Let me say that again clearly. They looked at the death toll, they looked at the projections, and they voted to lock it in. Now you might be wondering, what did Elon Musk say about all of this? When he left DOGE in May 2025, he posted on X that, and I'm not making this up, 0 people have died because of DOGE. 0. At the same time, Dr. Nichols' counter was already past 300,000. When Bill Gates directly confronted Musk about the DOGE cuts endangering children's lives, Musk called Gates a liar and demanded evidence of harm, while Gates responded, "I'd love for him to go in and meet the children that have now been infected with HIV because he cut that money." And Secretary of State Rubio stood before Congress and declared, on the record, "No one has died because of USAID cuts, and no children are dying on my watch. This is democracy." Now, what a shame for Americans. 781,000 people. That is not a policy disagreement. That is not a difference of opinion. That is a lie, told loudly, told repeatedly, and told to the faces of the people whose job is to hold power accountable. Here's the final irony that makes this whole thing almost too dark to process. DOGE promised to save America money. That was the entire justification. Efficiency and cutting waste. DOGE bragged it could cut $2 trillion. Musk eventually admitted it saved around $200 billion, and a deposition from a DOGE employee revealed even that figure did little to reduce the actual federal deficit. Meanwhile, the cost to fire, rehire, and place workers on paid leave alone cost taxpayers an estimated $135 billion. Fortune. So the math on the money doesn't even work. But the math on the human cost? The legacy of DOGE and the Trump administration is the death of hundreds of thousands of children, with The Lancet estimating 4.5 million children under the age of 5 could die by 2030 because of these cuts. They didn't save America money. They just moved the cost somewhere they didn't have to look at it, somewhere without lobbyists, somewhere without voters, somewhere far away, where the children dying from malaria don't make it onto the evening news. That's not efficiency. That's just cruelty with a spreadsheet. I started this video with a number, 781,343. I want to end with something Dr. Brooke Nichols said when she built her counter. She said she hoped politicians and the public would use these numbers to advocate for the funding to be restored. She said, "If foreign aid is restored and these programs resume, we'll stop the counters." She also warned, "It's hard to turn the tap back on once you've turned it off, especially if there is no staff to turn it on. The staff is gone. The clinics are closed. The programs are canceled. And the people in power are still saying 0 people have died. This is not a partisan issue. Dead children don't have a party affiliation, so share this video. Because the first step to fixing something is refusing to let the people who broke it pretend it isn't broken. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care of each other.